Peace on earth. The enemy within. Why is there no peace in our world? Because our hearts are not at peace. True peace arises from the hearts of men and women toward the world. It is a movement of their heart. Anger and hatred are our true enemies. These are the forces we must fight. Forces created through Satan's lies to poison our hearts, and above all, we must overcome them because the real enemy comes from within, not from without. This internal enemy is extremely dangerous. The destructive potential of an external enemy is limited compared to that of an internal enemy. The internal enemy is the trigger that unleashes the destructive power of the external enemy. True peace. True peace is not the mere absence of conflict, but a peace rooted in reconciliation with God. Jesus was at peace and confident in his life because he observed and followed God's will perfectly. This kind of peace with God, has to do with our trust in and obedience to his guidance in our lives. This is the peace that surpasses all understanding, because our mind will never give us peace. We cannot have God's peace until we first have peace with God. John Paul Jackson, 2014. The Mystery of Peace, Season 2, Episode 11. Streamsministries.com. Evil breeds evil. In his article, Do Not Be Overcome by Evil, but Overcome Evil with Good, the Catholic Pope John Paul II in 2004 maintained that the exhortation of the Apostle St. Paul in his letter to the Romans is very pertinent. In 12:21 Romans, he mentioned, do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Evil is not overcome with evil. In fact, those who act this way, instead of overcoming evil, allow themselves to be overcome by it, since evil grows in their lives and imprisons them even more. Our only defense against moral evil is our free will to choose between good and evil, which has been given to us by our Heavenly Father. We should not take revenge because God has retained that responsibility. Isn't that how it should be? Only He fully knows and understands every facet of the circumstances of every person and can judge accurately. John W. Rittenbach, 2009, The Sixth Commandment, Forerunner, Personal, cgg.org. Pleasing God creates peace. The evil that the people have done keeps them from returning to their God. Hosea 5:4. If sin is to be stopped, the carnal mind, man's normal nature, is at war with God. Romans 8:7. And it is not subject to God's law, because out of sheer unbelieving stubbornness it will not permit itself to submit completely. This is why God says that He will give us a new heart. Ezekiel 36:26. John W. Rittenbach, 2005, The Beast and Babylon, Part 9. Babylon the Great, Forerunner, Personal, cgg.org. Donald Dorr in 1960 1976 in his academic journal article, Christ's Way of Overcoming Evil, has given us several interesting insights on this subject. He inquired, how did Christ overcome evil? By practicing what he preached, he assured us. Returning good for evil. Christ even insists, the author continues, that forgiveness of our enemies is a condition of our being forgiven by God, our Father. Matthew 6:14-15, and that his lifestyle was always of service to others and his Father's will on this earth.